Hi everybody. I'm very happy to welcome you all for this session on Own a Piece of India. This morning I had an interesting WhatsApp forward basically. It was talking about the script name India. Current price is 3 trillion, which is our GDP, 3 trillion USD GDP, with a target price of 5 trillion USD. Invest in India. So I found that very, very interesting. So I thought I'll start with that. Own a Piece of India is basically a concept which was promoted and launched by the TATA mutual funds. This was basically launched with the intention to invest in companies based out of India with manufacturing setups and marketing in India, and also on companies which have export opportunities of the manufactured goods from our country. Before we get into this in detail, we need to understand what are sectorial funds. Basically, sectorial funds are kind of equity funds which have a concentrated portfolio towards the equities of companies under all market capitalization, that is large cap, mid cap, small cap, in one particular sector. Generally, investment in sectorial funds are considered to be pretty risky, basically because all the stocks invested in are in one particular sector. So in case that particular sector doesn't perform or underperforms, then your entire portfolio will be affected. But in this case of Tata's Own a Piece of India, it consists of a combination of 6 different sectors. So these 6 different funds belong to different categories. One is the banking and financial services fund. So they will be investing in all kinds of banking stocks plus financial companies like probably Muthoot Finance or a wealth creating company like IIFL and all those things. Then we have another sector called the Digital India. The Digital India is the theme where it focuses only on investing in stocks on the IT sector, right? Then we have another fund called the Consumer Fund. So it would be more of consumer oriented stocks where it would be invested. The fourth sector is the pharma and healthcare. During this last 1.5 to 2 years of pandemic, we've seen that this sector has actually outperformed all the other indices, and the pharma and healthcare will consist of all the pharma manufacturing companies, healthcare companies like Apollo Hospitals or Dr. Reddy's Laboratories and other things, and other companies. Then we have the infrastructure fund, which will be invested only in the sector which is related to infrastructure. Then we have the resources and energy fund, which invests only in that particular sector. Let us just take a look at the top holdings in each of these sectors. Mostly there might not be a repetition because each one belongs to different sectors, but it consists of a large cap, mid cap and small cap in each of the sectors. So even though you are investing in 6 different sectors, your portfolio is going to be diversified, but at the same time it is going to be focused on each and every particular sector. For example, the banking and financial services, it will have the ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, HDFC Limited, Axis. All these are all large caps, but at the same time it also invests in asset management company like UTI, the general insurance company like ICICI Lombard, right, SBI credit cards. So these are all companies which are not large caps but are in the mid cap category, right? So that will also be invested. Similarly, you look at the technology, Digital India, this thing, where you find IRCTC, Persistent, all the mid-cap IT space. At the same time, you also find the leaders, the Infosys, HCL Technologies or TCS or Tech Mahindra. They are also present. Similarly, you look at the India Consumer Fund, the giant ITC is there, Hindustan Lever is there, Tata Consumer is there. At the same time, you will also find the Jubilant Foodworks. Then you'll have the Kansai, Nerolac, Paints, which are all in the mid-cap category. And you look at the pharma and healthcare, you have the Apollo Hospitals, Ipca Labs, Narayana Hrudayalaya, then the Fortis Health, right? So all these sectors will have a mixture of large caps, mid caps, and small caps, which means it is going to be a multi-cap in that particular sector. Even though it is focused on one sector, it is going to be a multi-cap fund. And when you hold all the six as a combination, it becomes diversified. So the risk factor, whatever we had discussed earlier, it becomes very, very minimal. This slide shows the performance of each of these funds over the last 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years. Okay, let us not give too much of importance to the last 1 year, because last 1 year markets have been very good. So they've all done exceedingly well. Right, the banking and financial has given a return of 65%. The IT industry has given a 100% return. So let us not take that into consideration. That might not be the benchmark. But if we look at the 5-year horizon, we are able to find that all these funds have given a double-digit growth. 15% on the banking and financial, 32% on the digital India, the IT sector, 18% on the consumer fund. The pharma and healthcare fund has delivered almost 14%, and even the infrastructure has delivered 13%, and resources and energy has delivered still 17.5%. Okay, so I find this to be very good. This is what is the return we will have to keep it as a benchmark, or which we can expect out of this 6 sectorial fund. We all know that the markets have been pretty volatile recently, and especially with the US Fed meet around the corner, and we have the budget in the next week, early next week. I will not suggest clients to invest in lump sum into these funds. You should have another 3 to 5 year horizon into these funds, and probably slowly invest via SIP mode. You can do a SIP of as low as 1,000 rupees a month in each of the funds, and continue it for the next 3 to 5 years. When we expect the Indian GDP to grow to 5 trillion, right, by 2025 or 26, which is expected, and at the same time we will also be able to enjoy the benefits out of that growth. Okay, with that I would like to conclude this session. I've got a delightful picture of a cassata ice cream. See, we can enjoy all the different flavors in one ice cream. Okay, so with that I will complete this presentation, and my view would be to invest via the SIP mode in this Tata's Own a Piece of India on this special day. Thank you.